Vice President Kamala Harris being mocked once again for another doozy of a word salad statement. This time, Kamala was giving a speech about affordable internet access.
About the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time.
But the VP's problems don't end there. A new book revealing a feud between Harris and the White House, with Biden's communication director reportedly blaming the VP for her missteps and toxic work environment, and not the tough assignments she's been given. Okay, now, I suspect, Greg, that you understood that word salad, because I didn't get it.
You know what's funny? If I didn't know any better, I would think that she took a bong hit, except she lacks the depth of a competent stoner. It was as if she read the transcript of a robot pretending to be high, right? She has this amazing thought in her head. And there's this incredible gulf between what she believes in her head to be awesome and then what everybody hears, which is nonsense. She doesn't know. She doesn't know how it sounds. But she deserves credit for one thing. She lost her 10th staffer, which means she's just completed the staff punch card, which entitles her to firing an 11th staffer at no extra cost.
You know what? We can't have someone on the international stage, you know, whether it's about the border or Ukraine. I mean, the woman couldn't even answer a question as to whether or not we take refugees. Jessica.
Jessica. Let's just say my name for 30 seconds. That was dreadful. Being on the stage with the president of Poland when he had like 3 million refugees show up in one day, and that the uncomfortable laugh, which obviously has become a bit of a running joke about her, was definitely more upsetting to me than this passage of time quote. But there's no question that there's an issue here. Her popularity it's low. It's well below Joe Biden's. And what I have heard in defense of these staffers that are leaving, it's not that these staffers are not qualified. Apparently, there's a refusal to read the briefing books as completely as you should before you go out there and give these kinds of press conferences or meeting with other world officials. And so I feel for them, and there is natural turnover, and we all know that. And so not everyone is leaving because they hate it, and they need new opportunities and campaign cycles, et cetera. But there's no question that it is very believable that Biden's people and Harris's people are at odds with one another.
Jesse, you want to talk about the palace intrigue about Biden's people and Harris's people?
Well, I found out that Dr. Jill doesn't like Harris, and I know if your wife doesn't like someone that you're friends with,
tell me about it.
That's done. That is officially done. I did some estate planning, and, you know, you got to set things up for your spouse or your children in case, God forbid, I get stabbed by a vicious homeless man. Not out of the realm of possibility, Greg.
It's happened.
And it's about protecting the people that you love in case something horrible goes wrong. And Joe Biden is an older guy. He's almost 80 years old. And when you pick a vice president, it's almost like you're doing estate planning. You know, you have to protect the country if, God forbid, anything happened to you. So the fact that Joe Biden selected Kamala tells me he didn't do any estate planning. And he doesn't care actually about the country as much as he should. Because to leave America in her hands, if God forbid something happened to Joe, would be beyond a dereliction of duty. Now, I have to assume that that was a teleprompter glitch because, Judge, why did she just repeat the phrase 6 times? She has to be just reading the phrase over and over again in the teleprompter, right?
It's not the first time she repeated a phrase over and over.
That was not a teleprompter.
So she... I thought this was Ron Burgundy.
Do you really think
No,
that?
I thought she was Ron Burgundying it, and she was just reading what was in front of her over and over
again. Right. Well, okay. You know
I'm
what
trying
I
to
think?
give her the benefit of the doubt there.
Dana, you know what I think? I think that Joe Biden really did do some estate planning because she's his insurance policy. No one is going to look to get rid of Joe Biden because they know what they're going to get by way of impeachment.
So it made him look better.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know, that's actually I don't think that much strategy went into this. No, I think that we all know what happened when he was deciding who he wanted. And he said, okay, look, he didn't look at her and say, she would be the best counselor for me when I'm in the middle of a big decision. She's going to be the best person for me to go out on the stump and give a great speech. Now, they patched up after that debate where she basically called him a racist. That's why Dr. Jill Biden has never really forgiven her for that. But also, she wants to be president. And you cannot bluff your way through the vice presidency. And in extemporaneous speaking when I was on the speech team, you have to do a 5 to 7 minute speech. And it feels to me like she's trying to get to that 7th minute by adding all sorts of words that don't even make any sense. The other thing I would like to do is to say, let me give her the benefit of the doubt on something as well. They have set her up with 3 things in the recent memory that did not work out. So they told her, go fix voting rights. They gave her no evidence that there was voting rights problems that she could turn to, and they never were going to have the votes. So they gave her a mission that she was going to fail at. On the border, they didn't give her any policy change recommendations that she could go forward with. So she was like, okay, actually, I'll just go do root causes down in Central America. And the third thing is they went to Poland, and she didn't have a deliverable. So if I were the chief of staff for the president, I would try to figure out what my problem is to try to help her.
All right. Ahead, car-free Sundays, the insane new ideas liberals are pushing to counter surging gas prices.